Let's find the volume of a cube. Can you guess which one is the cube? Is it this purple figure or this red figure? Let's look at the questions. Which of these shapes are cubes? Circle them and prove that they are a cube. Now let's look a little closely at these cubes, because when we see here the word volume, we have to focus on the math involved to discover which one really is the cube based on volume. So what is a cube? Where would you find a cube? A cube is a three-dimensional object with 6 congruent square faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Examples of a cube would be a die. We have them here, examples here. An ice cube over here. Rubik's cube right here. A box. We have a gift box and an open box. We have some blocks. Now when we look at congruent, that's a special word. It means it's the same size and same shape, same measurements on all the faces of the cube. So if we look at this die, on this face, it's the same size and shape as the other face, and the one on the top, and the other face on the other side. Same thing goes for all the other cubes. Let's continue to explore. What is volume? Volume is the amount of space inside a container. Volume is length times width times height of a three-dimensional object. Or 3D, you always hear about 3D. The D is for dimensions. Those dimensions would be the length, how long the object is, the width, how wide it is, and the height, how tall or high off the ground the object is. And volume is measured in cubic units. So let's consider volume. Think of the space inside. If you have a box, what could fit into that box? That is your volume. Now let's find the missing sides and circle the cube. Here are the cubes that we started with. They're right here. Let's look at the measurements we were given, and we will figure out which one of these two is the cube. We have to circle them. Now, for number 1, if one side is 2 centimeters, it tells us here the length is 2 centimeters. That means the other sides must be 2 centimeters. The width here, there's a question mark they didn't give us. The height, another question mark. We weren't given the height. But if it's a cube, remember, all sides of a cube must be the same length. So, if this length is 2 centimeters, this must be 2 centimeters, and the height must be 2 centimeters. So let's find the volume. Length times width times height, or side times side times side. 2 times 2 times 2 will give us 8. 8 cubic centimeters. So let's look at the volume that we were given. It says volume is equal to 8 cubic centimeters. Wow. So number 1 is a cube. We circle it. It's a cube. So let's look at number 2. The height is 6 inches. We don't have the length. It's a question mark. We don't have the width. Back to the rule. All sides of a cube must be the same length. So if the height is 6 inches, we must make the length 6 inches, and we must make the width 6 inches. As it says here, if one side is 6 inches, the other sides must be 6 inches. 6 times 6 times 6 will give us 216 cubic inches. Let's look at the volume that we have here. According to the problem, the volume must be 60 cubic inches. When we did the math, we get 216 cubic inches. So very clearly, number 2 is not a cube. Now that we know the difference between the volume for the purple figure, the volume for the red figure, we could tell that the purple figure is a cube because all the sides are congruent, or they are all the same. For the red figure, the height is 6 inches, but we know that the length and the width cannot be 6 inches too, because when we do the math, we do not get 60 cubic inches. We get a different number. So this cannot be a cube. This is the cube over here at number 1. Thank you.